Alright, so we're here. We're about to interview one of the biggest community leaders in New York City. His name is Albert Williams. He has the taxi cab and TLC business pretty much in a frenzy. And he helped a lot of people when essential workers was going through a lot in the middle of the pandemic. So we're about to interview him and talk to him about some of the ins and outs of the taxi cab business and just figure out if it's a lucrative business and if people from our local community should get involved with it. So follow me and let's get this going. The reason why I'm happy to do this interview is because he's also a mentor to me, and he inspires me and he helped me in a lot of ways. We also he helped me with my scholarship program. We gave back to a lot of kids at Mount Senior Scanlon, and this is just my passion, so we're going to talk to him about some of the things that he's done and some of the great things that he's done in the community and some of the things that he's helped me with. So let's do it. Take a look at the sign. I'm here with one of the biggest community leaders in New York City. He was involved with helping essential workers during the height of the pandemic. It is my pleasure to introduce Albert Williams, the CEO of Best Deal Car Service.
Thank you, Quan. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so he's like a mentor to me, and this is going to be pretty easy, and I'm just going to go right into it.
All right.
What inspired you to want to get into business?
So I've always been an entrepreneur. I've always had the entrepreneurial bug. Came here from Jamaica when I was 8.
Okay.
I would go up in the Bronx. We would cut grass in the summer. Not a lot of grass in the Bronx to cut. In the winter, shovel snow. And I've always had that entrepreneurial bug, from cutting grass to printing menus, flyers, to fixing computers. I got a degree in computer science. I have my own consulting company. But I've always had that entrepreneurial bug since I was probably 8 or 9 years old. So it's natural.
Yeah, so the entrepreneur spirit, it came
probably at birth, but I just discovered it at age.
Right. So, so what was it like coming from Jamaica to?
Well, coming here, I came here at 8, so I didn't remember a lot of Jamaica. But coming here and watching my mom go through the struggle to raise three of us, all of us college degrees, all of us are multiple homeowners. My brother lives in Connecticut, sister lives in Jersey. So it was just knowing laser focus on what mom did. She already laid the foundation. All we had to do is copy it.
Right. Okay. So what made you go into the car service business? Okay. Well, you know what? Before that, what high school and what college did you go to?
Went to Theodore Roosevelt High School.
Okay.
Fordham Road.
Okay.
Right across from that college. What's it called? Fordham University.
Right.
And I went to St. John's University.
Okay.
Yeah, a degree in computer science from St. John's.
Okay. So having a degree in computer science, what made you go into the taxi car service business?
Good question. So I was in Dallas. I lived in Dallas for a while.
Wow.
While working for a company, a corporate company. And one day, a buddy of mine kept on calling me Dave. I've known Dave since I was 8.
Okay.
And Dave, Al, man, your buddy has a car service. You should buy it.
Right.
What are you talking about? Get out of here. Foolishness.
Right.
Get out of here.
Right.
And one day there was a tornado in Dallas, a couple of tornadoes. I'm like, you know what? Let me just see what things are talking about. I started doing research on non-emergency medical transportation.
Right.
And I realized that there was a business here.
Right.
And after I moved from Dallas and separated from the company, I decided, you know what? Let me try this non-emergency medical thing. Tried it. Got a first look at a contract with a broker, and I almost jumped off the roof.
Wow.
Prices that I saw years ago in Dallas were, let's say, for example, $30 a trip.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got that contract, they were like $6.39 a trip.
Wow.
Minimum fare for a taxi driver in the Bronx is $7.
Right.
So if you're giving me a contract for under $7 and minimum fare is $7, how could I convince the driver to pick that up? And where do I make money?
Right.
So fast forward 8 years later, thank God we stuck to it.
Right. So you've been in the taxi cab industry for 8 years now? Wow. Okay. So how important is discipline and focus in business?
it's secondary. I would say secondary. For me, it's you're going to do if I don't pay attention to the naysayers, right?
Okay.
People tell me, Albert, you got a degree in computer science, you work for a global company, you can get a job anywhere. No.
Right.
So don't do it, Al. Don't do it. So discipline is secondary, but you gotta believe in yourself first.
Right.
Focus on you. Forget about if I listen in a nutshell. If I listen to what people say, I want to be where I am today.
Wow.
I wanna be where I am today. I got friends that currently work for me that told me going into this business, I was crazy.
Right.
Now they're working for me.
Right. Right.
So I should tell you something.
So okay. So for our young audience and our young listeners, what would you say made you say what made you say I'd rather be an employer versus being an employee?
Oh, good question. Great question, in fact. So for me, it's I get to set my own hours.
Right.
Entrepreneur is not easy.
Right.
You know, I work a lot of hours.
Right.
But I set my own hours.
Right.
When school was in session, I took my kids to school
Mm-hmm.
and I picked them up.
Right.
So that's and I don't live in the Bronx anymore. So imagine taking your kids to school, dropping them off. My son was 3 or 4, going to daycare. Drop them off at 9 o'clock. If he wants to play, we go. You can drop them at 10 o'clock. It's
Right.
daycare.
Right. So the freedom.
The freedom. Pick them up, and then do some work. So the freedom of that, and then also the opportunity to help others, right? To provide.
Right.
If I build a world-class company, I've worked for a world-class company.
Right.
If I build a world-class company, if I could work for a world-class company, why can't I build a world-class company and employ
Right.
right?
And it's so weird because like I come from a family where my mom was an entrepreneur, and in the black community, we don't have many leaders. So when I first met you, I instantly gravitated to you, and it just was like, how can I pick his brain? How can I be around him? So I would come and knock on the door and just ask questions, and
the door's always open.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So the reason why I'm saying this is because what advice can you give to become a great leader?
Listen. Great leaders, a listener is a great leader.
Okay.
You got to listen first.
Right.
Listen first. And my folks may disagree with me at times because I listen to. My brain operates a little bit different.
Right.
So you're giving me 5 sentences. I already needed what I needed to know from the second sentence.
Right.
But I got to force myself to listen.
Right.
I mean, my ops manager may not agree with that at times. The general manager may not agree. Drivers may not agree with that at times. But the key thing is to listen.
Right.
And great listeners make better leaders.
Right. So I was once told that a smart man listens. A smart man tells people what they need to know. A wise man listens to what he needs to know.
100%. If you listen, you make an analysis, and you make a decision, you make a judgment call.
Right.
And that's it. So you got to have data, like computer science data. Being in computer science makes it great for me because I need that data. I process all that data, and based on the data, I make my decisions based on data. I don't make decisions based on, okay, we're going to flip a coin, heads or tails.
Right.
Sometimes I do that.
Right.
When the data tells me, like, for example, if a driver is borderline,
Right.
I'll say to a driver, heads I win, tails you lose. And if they don't listen enough, I'm always going to win. Heads I win, tails you lose. I'm always winning.
Right.
Sometimes I can flip the coin and do it the right way and just make a decision based on that. But that's the exception to the rule.
So, okay, so in business, you would say that you have to be really quick on your toes.
Yes.
And does a lot of your decisions come from instinct and gut feeling, or are you an overthinker?
I overthink.
You overthink at times?
And which is bad.
Right.
I overthink, which is bad. So you may not know this, and for you, listen, I'm 45. I just turned 45.
Right.
June 16th, I filmed a commercial.
Right.
Like, I'm doing stuff that those Homebirds and those Lyfts and those Vias,
Right.
I just call them.
Right. Yeah.
I came in here one morning at 6 o'clock to film a commercial.
Mhm.
We sanitize all of our vehicles.
Right.
And that morning, I had a mini stroke at 6 o'clock that morning.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of people know, right?
Yeah.
And I overthink everything. I got a camera crew all set up, and I'm thinking, what if it goes wrong? Just reschedule it now.
Right.
And I'm literally sitting here and I can't say Quan. I look at the word. I'm in the car business. I can't say the word registration.
Right.
So I was quick enough on my feet. Thing came in here, grabbed an aspirin, which wasn't the right idea. Grabbed the aspirin. A few minutes later, I'm like, no, something's wrong. To one of the drivers, take him to the hospital. Left the commercial guys, left everybody, take him to the hospital.
So, okay, now this is not even a question that I was going to ask, but health is wealth.
Yes. Yeah.
So, none of this means anything
Nothing.
if we don't take care of ourselves
100%,
first.
100%. You gotta take some time, listen to the doctors. Just before the stroke, right?
Right.
My pinky hurt. I'm at the doctor. That's before the stroke. So
Right.
imagine me now.
Right.
I went to every doctor. The only doctor I can't find is a doctor to look at the bottom of my foot. You got a foot doctor.
Right.
I just can't find a doctor to look at the bottom of my foot, the back of my head.
Right.
I went to every doctor between June 16th and July 16th. I went to every single doctor. Heart doctor, eye doctor, nose doctor, throat doctor.
And it's so crazy because you would look at a person and you would be like, oh, he's fit, he looks amazing. But sometimes, that's why.
Yeah. So you gotta make sure you take care of yourself and delegate as an entrepreneur. It's stressful, but the rewards are great. Time is I got all the time in the world.
How do you feel about meditation?
You know, I haven't tried it. I've tried it. All the books that I read,
Right.
they all say to do it.
Right.
Honestly, I just need to do it.
Right. I actually do it.
I just need to do it. Like I downloaded Headspace and
Right.
other things. I actually need to do it.
Right.
I definitely need to.
Take
now
a couple minutes in the morning.
I gotta do it now.
Right.
And I'm up early.
Take a couple minutes in the morning and just relax, close your eyes,
I
and
gotta do it.
clear your mind.
I gotta do it.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. So, can the TLC taxi cab business be lucrative? Can it still be a lucrative business?
100%. So it's definitely a lucrative business.
Okay.
Right, and it still can be. I have drivers. You know, my responsibility as the CEO is to make sure that everybody gets paid before I get paid.
Right.
And I have drivers. I got some drivers that are doing $150,000, $160,000 a year.
Wow.
Right.
Right.
And on a bad year, the company doesn't do that. But we have individual drivers that are doing that consistently year
Right.
over year over year.
Right.
Including, even though we're in COVID, you got drivers that are gonna
still
beat their
thriving.
number, and they're gonna beat their numbers from
Right.
last year. So it's definitely a lucrative business,
Right.
and it's an honest paying business.
Do you have any tips for beginner drivers?
Take every call you can. Take every call you can. Don't be afraid to take an accountant job, credit card job. Some drivers, they want cash in hand.
Right, and I know that.
Yeah, right. But cash.
Right.
What's going to happen is you're going to collect a whole bunch of cash. You're going to pick up that fare on the street. The boogeyman's going to put a gun to the back of your head and take all your cash.
Right.
All right. And where are you left with?
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
So mix it up where you got some cash. The company
Diversification.
That's it. It's the same thing with your investment.
What are some of the? So can you go into a little bit of the diversifications within the taxi cab business?
Sure. So there's cash calls.
Okay.
Right. Like for Best Deal in particularly, we have the mall. We just go to the queue.
Right.
We got a whole bunch of guys just go over there. Get calls from there. There are cash calls that come from the app.
Right.
Just driving around. There are medical calls where we pay you. That's where we make our money.
Right.
And there are credit card jobs where we charge the customer over the phone and we pay the driver. So we'll have a guy that'll do, let's say, 100 jobs for the week. 60 of those jobs, he'll come and pick up a check on Friday.
Right.
40 of those jobs, he'll have cash in hand.
So for someone that wants cash, and for someone that also wants money on the books, that is the perfect diversification.
It is 100%. And you know, let's not. COVID is back. 180,000 people dead so far.
Yes.
Right. But for the first time ever, you have independent drivers that were able to collect unemployment. If you were not getting money on the books, how do you prove how much money you were making to justify that level of unemployment?
Otherwise, you won't get the unemployment.
You get unemployment because if you're on the books, you're getting a 1099 and you should be smart enough to file taxes.
Right.
Right. If you're not on the books and you're just getting that cash,
Now you struck out.
now you're SOL right now.
So you see, he's giving us all the jewels. Like, so if there's any young guys that want to become cab drivers, you should still become a cab driver.
It's a good, honest living.
Right.
Exactly. And it gives you, and as a cab driver, I asked the question when I first bought this company. We had 35 drivers. And my first meeting with the drivers, I asked them who considers themselves an entrepreneur, and no one raised their hand.
Wow.
And you're an entrepreneur. You own your own business. You're an independent contractor. You own your own business.
Self-employed.
I don't tell you when to go to work.
Right.
You show up when you want.
Right.
So, don't consider it as only a taxi driver or a Lyft driver. You're self-employed. You're a CEO of your own.
Right, of your own entity. You're just under the umbrella.
That's it. Yeah, you're just affiliated with me.
Right.
You're still your own CEO.
So would you say that it's almost like subcontracting work?
Yes, 1099. Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Contract for hire. Exactly.
Yeah.
You come out of work whenever you want.
Right.
You make your hours. You make your time.
Right.
You look in the tablet. You see the jobs you see the price of the job. I don't like that $8 job. I want a $9 job.
Right.
I don't want to go to Brooklyn today. I want to go to Queens. Pick the job going to Queens.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand with the car service business. They just think, oh, you're a taxi cab driver. Oh, it's a little deeper than the way it was
Exactly.
20, 30 years ago.
100%. Yep, 100%.
Okay, so did Lyft and Uber ever hurt the black car service business?
It hurt the industry, period. Black car, yellow, green, every color, right?
Right.
Did Uber and Lyft hurt me? They moved up the street from me.
Right, I see.
And I just figured they wanted to be close to me. So no, that sounds cocky, conceited. No, entrepreneur, we use confidence.
Right.
Not cocky, it's
Right.
confidence, right?
Right.
They just want to be close to me.
Right.
Right. I had a Ride Rewards program. I put that Ride Rewards program on a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And I asked one of my girls the other day to pull some data for me. When I started my Ride Reward program, I'm not sure if it's in this folder. Oh yeah. Uber announced on November 4th. Uber and Lyft announced Ride Rewards program November 14, 2018, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does it say up there?
Where at?
In my writing, which you can't
Best deal on
Best deal launches our Ride Rewards program in June of 2016.
Oh, so you guys did it
Before they did.
2
Right?
years,
2 years before they did,
and a
right?
few months before they did it.
Yeah. So I gave away 6,003 rides to first responders during COVID, right?
Right, that's one of the things that I
Right.
wanted to ask you about
And
too.
Uber posted that they were going to do that. I've been doing that since March 26th. Uber announced on March 25th, follow the leader, that they were going to do that.
So see, if you're Albert, you have to think in your mind, and we're gonna call him Mr. Williams
No.
because that was incredible that he was ahead of the curve. A small entity
In the Bronx.
in the Bronx, competing against the global monstrosity.
And let me say something. I don't compete with Uber.
Right,
I compete with Albert.
right,
I get up the next day and figure out how do I outdo what I did yesterday.
right,
Right. So we sanitized our cars.
right.
Right. We ran a commercial. We sanitized our cars. A couple days after our commercial ran, Uber said they're gonna put Clorox wipes in your cars.
Wow.
Come on. I got a bug in here somewhere.
Yeah,
Come on.
you gotta feel that
Right,
way.
So, but I compete with myself. I don't compete.
So, okay, so you pretty much never felt a lost in the beat against Uber or in any way.
I never looked at Uber as bad competition.
Right.
All competition is good, but I don't compete with Uber. I don't compete with them.
Right.
I don't worry about what Uber's doing.
So, okay, so never mind them.
Okay, bro.
Let's talk about some of the philanthropy and some of the giving and some of the things that you've done in our local community.
So for us, it's like we're a community car service, right?
Right.
We're a community car service. We have 4 companies, but primarily Best Deal is a community car service, right?
Right.
And we can't sit in the community that I grew up in,
Right.
that my drivers live and work in, and take, and not give something back.
Right.
So in our community, pre-COVID, some of us didn't see COVID coming. I watch the news a lot, and I read the news a lot. I mean, I still read old school newspapers.
Right.
I don't read it in the web. I read the paper, right?
Right.
And right before COVID, I asked my ops manager to order 5,000 hand sanitizers. We gave hand sanitizers out to the police department, to the fire department, to the nursing homes, to the we put them in the back of the cars. You know, every September we give away book bags.
Right.
We give away book bags every September to kids. We donate to hospitals.
Right.
You know, so we do a lot, and we just do it because we're in the community. We can't take from the community.
Right.
We can't just take your money.
So with when COVID happened, you guys gave free rides to essential workers?
Yeah, we gave free rides to work for essential workers, right? So we gave it from March 26th or 27th through July 4th.
Wow.
Something like that. So we gave
in the heart of the pandemic.
Yeah, we gave away. I want to say the number is 6,002 rides.
Wow.
I want to say we gave away 6,002 rides. Yeah.
So you can't be a business person and not. You can't just always take.
No.
You have to give.
Gotta give back.
And that's what he's saying right
Gotta
now.
give back. If you keep on giving, the community, you gotta grow the community.
Right.
You gotta grow the community and let the community know you appreciate them. You just can't take from them.
Right.
Right. So you got first responders that, like, you know, I told this story in an interview with Channel 4 when they asked about. My mom used to be an emergency room nurse.
Right.
Why would I want my mom to worry about going figuring out where to get a parking spot or how to get to work safely in a pandemic? I don't want her to do that now outside of a pandemic. Why would I want her to do that inside a pandemic?
Right.
We got first responders that live in the neighborhood. The buses are not running. How are they going to get to work to take care of us?
Right. That's amazing. I got a few more questions and then we're going to wrap it up. How do you feel about generational wealth?
We need to break the cycle.
Okay.
All right, and there is no generational wealth in the black community. It's
Okay.
there at the Jay-Z's level. I'm a big fan of Jay-Z. It's there at his level, but it's not there at our level.
Right.
Right. So for me, it's everything I do for my kids. Right. For me, nobody remembers my birthday. You know,
Right.
I mean, Mom, I have kids don't. It's, hey, this is my birthday, Mom. Yeah, let me talk to my grandma.
Right.
My grandson.
Right.
Right. So I think that it's critical. It's important. My daughter she just turned 9, and I just got her through a small local bank or a large bank, Capital One. You can get a actual debit card for a 9-year-old.
Wow.
So now I'm gonna take it to the bank and show her how to work the debit card and let her download it on her iPad to see the money and watch, right? So she can learn. You know, my daughter owns a house. Right. So right when she was born,
The 9-year-old?
The 9-year-old. I bought a single family house.
Right.
And I told her, that's your house.
Right.
Right. So the house is in a corporation. I'm the president. She's the vice president.
Right.
Right. And it's your house. I can't sell her house without her permission.
Right.
Right. But that's how I look at it. My son now is 5, but Abby has a house and I don't.
Right.
So I got a little problem. So I got to figure that out.
He's next.
I got to figure that out.
And this is things that we don't do in the black community.
And this is something we need to do.
Right. Do you talk to them about stocks?
So the other day I told her I'm going to buy her 1 share of TikTok. Not realizing that TikTok wasn't a public company.
Right, yeah.
When I told her that. So now they like Apple. They like, my son likes basketball. So so slowly but surely I'm getting them into it.
Right.
And I'm going to let them buy 1 share of what they want. I didn't want to buy Apple because I know but now it's a split. So honestly, we're looking at it like now it's reasonable to get it where I don't want to ever bring something to them and have to say no.
Right.
Because for me, anything I tell them I'm going to do, I do. And just like in business, I'll tell you, like, if you're going to do something, if you make a decision, stick to it. Okay. Bad decision, wrong decision, so be it. You live by it. But stick to it. If you say you're going to do something, you got to do it. That's key. You got to do it. You got to do it.
He just inspires me whenever I come and see him and talk to him. Now, one of the things he probably won't want me to mention is, but I came to him a few months back. I told him that I was a sponsor and a mentor to a basketball player, and he just jumped on board with me. He didn't ask any questions. He said, how much do you need? I gave him the dollar amount, and he helped me. So my point of bringing this up is sometimes you don't know where your hidden treasure is gonna come. Now, he gives a lot, and I aspire to be like him. So if you don't get anything from this interview, just learn that you gotta be successful, you gotta push, and you also have to give.
Can't just take.
Yes. So the last question that I have for you is, how do you stay inspired?
I read a lot. I read a lot, listen to podcasts, read.
Hear that, kids?
You gotta read, listen to your podcast, listen to the news. You know, I mean, my kid is 5. When he was 4, he was telling me, Dad, 6:30. It's time for World News with David Muir.
Wow.
David Muir goes on vacation. It's a problem for him. Like, when is he coming back?
Right.
You know, I'm 45 and 8, 30-something years. I've watched Jeopardy 7 o'clock every night.
Wow.
Right? And now the kids know at dinner, we're watching Jeopardy. And thanks to COVID, because now they're home and I make sure I get home earlier. I mean, the wife is working from home because of COVID, but that doesn't mean I should hang out in the office all day, right?
Right.
So I go home and that's what we're doing. We're watching Jeopardy, reading the newspaper, listening to podcasts.
So
always trying to learn something new.
Those are the things that inspire you.
100%.
So you heard it first. The myth, the legend.
Let's not get carried away.
Albert Williams.
Let's not get carried away.
He's super modest. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate everything.
My pleasure. Thank you.
That's it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, guys. So everybody, please hit that like button and subscribe. Do you have any links that you?
You can find me like on LinkedIn. And let me say this, right? You should, every high school student, every junior high school student should have a LinkedIn account.
Right.
You should have a professional version of your Facebook account.
Right.
So you can start going out there and putting yourself out there.
Right.
And that's key. So you guys want to find me on LinkedIn, and then when you find me on LinkedIn, you'll find everything else. Albert Williams or Albert Williams the best deal. You'll find me on LinkedIn. And then any questions, by all means, I'll answer them.
Again, thank you. Hit that like button and subscribe. So here you have it. Interviewed him. It was a success. He gave us a lot of information. And I'm just thankful. I just want to get the information out there to y'all. You can be a businessman if you want to. You just got to inspire to do it. Just look clean, get fresh, feel good. And that's the key to this, man. You can accomplish anything you want in life. Stay inspired.